back to a new episode of Are You Sure? Just to remind you, we are still with our contestant Betty from last time. She was able to earn $50 by successfully going through 2 rounds of our 5-round game show. Today, we will start with round number 3, question 1. Betty, welcome back.
Thank you.
Are you ready to get started?
Yes.
Let's take a look at your round 3, question 1. Where did the Bible call the place from which the children of Israel set their journey to Canaan from? The desert or wilderness of Sin, the village of Sin, or the town of Sin?
Answer number 1, the desert or wilderness of Sin.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We know from Exodus 17:1, the whole Israelite community set out from the desert of Sin, traveling from place to place as the Lord commanded. Question number 2 of round 3. According to Exodus 17:4, what did Moses fear that the children of Israel would do to him? He was afraid that they would kill him, that they would remove him from leadership, or that they would stone him.
Answer number 3, that they would stone him.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We know from Exodus 17:4, then Moses cried out to the Lord, "What am I to do with these people? They are almost ready to stone me." Great job, Betty. Question 3 of round 3. According to Exodus 17:8, where did the people of Amalek come to fight with Israel? To Egypt, in the wilderness of Sin, or in Rephidim?
Answer number 3, Rephidim.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. Exodus 17:8 says, the Amalekites came and attacked the Israelites at Rephidim. Great job. Question number 4. According to Exodus 17:11, when Moses let down his hand during the battle, what did the Amalekites do? The Amalekites would hide, the Amalekites would win, or the Amalekites would find themselves lost?
Answer number 2, they won.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We knew that as long as Moses held up his hands, the Israelites were winning, but whenever he would lower his hands, the Amalekites would win the battle. Great job. Question number 5 of round 3. What did Moses' son Gershom mean? I am a planter in the land, I am a wise one in a strange land, or I am a foreigner in a strange land?
Answer number 3, I am a foreigner in a strange land.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We know from Exodus 18:3, and her 2 sons. One son was named Gershom, for Moses said, I have become a foreigner in a foreign land. Great job, Betty. You answered 15 questions correctly. We're now moving on to round 4. We are now going to take a short break. We'll be back with round 4 with Betty on Are You Sure? Please stay tuned.
They complained because they did not have enough food. The supplies they carried with them from Egypt began to run out, and they had to sustain in the wilderness. It would seem that starvation was more anticipated than experienced. In another word, they did not live through weeks and weeks of famine, nor did they see their families and friends die of malnutrition, or even they have to kill all their livestock for food. Instead, they started to feel hungry and anticipated starvation. They went from singing to complaining very quickly. They insisted that Moses and Aaron had bad or evil interpretations. Of course, Moses and Aaron had no interest of killing the people of Israel, and that was a shocking accusation. However, the grumbling hearts often find it easy to accuse the person it complains of having the worst motives. This was an amazing promise. Bread does not usually rain from the sky. However, God promised that He would provide the Israel in this unexpected way. This reminds us that God may provide from resources that we never know existed. Sometimes He provided us with familiar resources, sometimes from unexpected resources. God promised to send bread from heaven, but He didn't promise to drop it into their mouths. They still had to go out and gather what they need for every day. The blessing of bread from heaven came with the responsibility of obedience. This responsibility would test Israel, the measure of their obedience. The test came on the sixth day, when they were to gather twice as much. On the seventh day could be received as a day of rest. One way God showed His glory was through this display of mercy and goodness. God didn't send them hell from heaven. He sent bread instead. Nor did He demand that they stop their complainings before they ate. Just like Jesus would later command us, God loved to feed those who acted like His enemy.
Welcome back to Are You Sure? We're still with Betty, and she is competing now in round number 4. She has already answered 15 questions correctly. Awesome job, Betty. You ready to keep going?
Yes.
Let's look at question 1 of round 4. What did Moses' son Eliezer mean? He was my burden in the time of the Pharaoh. He was my wealth in the time of the Pharaoh. Or he was my help and delivered me from the sword of the Pharaoh.
Answer number 3.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. Yes, that is correct. In Exodus 18:4, we know that when Moses named his son Eliezer, he said, "My father's God was my helper. He saved me from the sword of Pharaoh." Perfect. Let's continue to question 2. What type of captains did Jethro suggest to have? Able men who don't have time to judge the people, able men who do not like the Pharaoh, or able men such as people who feared God, men of truth, and hating covetousness?
Answer number 3.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We know from Exodus 18:21, but select capable men from all the people, men who fear God, are trustworthy, hate dishonest gain, and appoint them as officials over the thousands. Great job, Betty. Question number 3 of round 4. According to Exodus 16:1, the children of Israel journeyed from Elam to what place? To Palestine, to Egypt, or to Sinai?
Answer number 3, Sinai.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We know from Exodus 16:1, and they took their journey from Elam, and all the congregation of the children of Israel came from the wilderness of Sin, which is between Elam and Sinai. Great job. Question 4 of round 4. What did the people of Israel say when Moses came down and told them all that God had said? We will not obey, take us back to Egypt, or all that the Lord says we will do.
Answer number 3, all that the Lord says we will do.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We know from Exodus 19:8, the people all responded together, "We will do everything the Lord has said." So Moses brought their answer back to the Lord. Great job, Betty. This is now your 5th and final question of round 4. You'll earn $100 if you make it to the end. In Exodus 16:12, what are the children of Israel to be filled with in the morning? With birds, with chickens, or with bread?
Answer number 3, bread.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is perfect. In Exodus 16, we are told that this is the bread with which the Lord hath given you to eat, and it was called manna. Great job, Betty. Betty has successfully answered 20 questions, reaching the end of round 4. She's won $100 and now is looking to increase that to the ultimate prize of $200. Now we're gonna start round 5. Are you ready, Betty?
Yes.
Let's get started. Round 5, question 1. According to Exodus 16:16, the children of Israel were to gather 1 omer for each person according to what? According to the number of animals they had, according to the number of trees they had, or according to the number of persons they had?
Answer number 3, according to the number of persons.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We know that this is what the Lord has commanded. Everyone is to gather as much as they needed. Take an omer for each person you have in your tent. Question number 2 of round 5. Betty, are you ready?
Yes.
All right, let's look at question 2. In Exodus 17:13, who defeated the people of Amalek with the edge of the sword? Hur, Aaron, or Joshua?
Answer number 3, Joshua.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's look at the answer. That is correct. We know from Exodus 17:13. So Joshua overcame the Amalekite army with the sword. Great job, Betty. Question number 3. What month and day was the Lord going to come down on the mountain? The first month, 3rd day, 4th month, 1st day, 3rd month, 3rd day.
Answer number 3, 3rd month, 3rd day.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We know from Exodus 19:11, and be ready by the 3rd day, because on that day the Lord will come down on Mount Sinai in the sight of all the people. Great job. Question number 4 of round 5. Now, Betty, this is a fill-in-the-blank question. Are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, so fill in the following blanks. According to Exodus 17:3, why is it that you have brought us up out of blank to kill us and our blank with thirst? Lebanon, children and cattle, Syria, youth and our agriculture, or Egypt, children and our livestock?
Answer number 3, Egypt, children and livestock.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is correct. We know that in Exodus 17:3, but the people were thirsty for water there, and they grumbled against Moses. They said, why did you bring us out of Egypt to make us and our children and our livestock die of thirst? Great job, Betty. Now this is the 5th and final question of the whole game show. Are you ready?
Yes.
This is also a fill in the blank. According to Exodus 16:8, this shall be seen when the Lord gives you blank to eat in the evening, and in the morning blank to the blank. Birds, bread, and full. Chickens, bread, and full. Or meat, bread, and full.
Answer number 3, meat, bread, and full.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Let's see the answer. That is perfect. Exodus 16:8 tells us, and Moses said, this shall be when the Lord shall give you in the evening flesh to eat, and in the morning bread to the full. Great job, Betty. You answered all 25 questions perfectly. A huge congratulations to Betty, who passed all 5 rounds of Are You Sure? She answered 25 questions correctly from the books of Genesis and Exodus. Congratulations, Betty.
Thank you. Yay.
Betty!
Yay.
الواد ده ملوش كرسي. اديله الكرسي بتاعي of the 5th round to reach the ultimate cast خلاص انا بنهار، انا بقولك انا بنهار. انا بشوفهم يوم الاحد لمدة 2 ساعتين، مش دعوة.